This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics.
Hello, and welcome everybody to another powerful episode of Daily with Doc and Becca, the show where we bring you education, inspiration, and practical tools to help you take charge of your health and your future. I'm Becca Dukes, and it is my honor and privilege as a certified holistic health coach and certified naturopathic practitioner to host today this show as we bring the education to help you make those changes in your life. And today is one of our favorite days of the week, and that is Pharmacist Fridays. That means that we get to spin the show with our good friend, Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, digging into the science of how the body really works and answering your health questions live. So if you've got questions, make sure you get your hands up. And if you're out on any of the platforms, as we broadcast across the world on so many different platforms, and if there's a way to comment, you have questions, we do have people that are watching for those questions in the comments, so they will bring them into the show for you. If you'd like to join us live, you can register at zoom.dailywithdoc.com. Register and we'll verify that you're not on the restricted list and let you in the next time you visit zoom.dailywithdoc.com. So every week, Ben helps us to connect the dots between nutrition, biochemistry, and real-world health solutions instead of just chasing symptoms. We talk about how the body supports itself at a foundational level, but it can't do it without the right raw ingredients. So whether your questions are about digestion, inflammation, skin, health, supplements, medication, energy, hormones, or anything in between, today is your chance to ask. So this program is about empowering you with knowledge. It is also a resource for an amazing community. We want to make sure that if you were referred to this program by somebody specific, that you get back with that person as they cared enough about you to share this information with you. So get back with them, let them know what you learned or liked best about this program. And if you have any questions, they are your #1 first point of contact. Now, for those of you who did not get referred to this program by somebody specific, you can reach out to our call team that we have at 855-949-3377. Again, that's 855-949-3377 to be connected with one of our certified holistic health coaches. If you have a question and you'd like to get an answer, questions@dailywithdoc.com. questions@dailywithdoc.com. We'll either answer those questions here on the air or email you directly with an answer based on the philosophy and teachings of both Pharmacist Ben Fuchs and Dr. Joel Wallach, who is our fearless leader and leading the way in letting people know the truth and the significance of the science of epigenetics. So grab something to take notes with, share the show with a friend, and get ready for another Pharmacist Fridays Q&A with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs here on Daily with Doc and Becca. Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for thank you for having me, and what an honor to be associated with Dr. Wallach and all the wonderful folks here at Longevity, including yourself and Ruth Ellen and AJ and Marilyn and Albert. Hi, Albert. I talked to your friends. That was great talking to your friends the other day. And you want to answer questions? You want to talk about this question you asked me on your text? What do you like to do?
So we're going to do questions. We've got a number of questions that we can get started with that one. Absolutely.
I want to address that because AJ mentioned it before we went on, and I thought I'd talk about this. So here's the deal. Everything's about the cell, right? We always talk about the cell. The body's made up of cells and then stuff that comes out of the cells. The living part of the body is the cells. The cell has one goal, one role, no matter what the cell is, and that's energy. All about energy. The cell's primary job is to make energy. That's his primary job. Yeah, the intestinal cell does intestinal things, the muscle cell does muscle things, but it all comes from energy. Disruptions in energy throw the entire system off. Cancer represents a disruption in energy, or actually it's a coping mechanism following a disruption in energy. Cells can't deal with that. They can't produce energy correctly, so they go into a emergency energy generation system. That's what cancer is. So AJ and the question was about parasites. You hear about parasites. Yes, there's different things that can cause the cell to have a disruption in energy. For the most part, it's metabolic. But there are other things. Radiation can do it. Viruses can do it. There are different things that can do it. So to say, do parasites cause cancer? It's not that they're causing cancer. It's that they're causing a disruption in energy, and that can cause the cell to become a cancer. So you don't want to blame the parasite. And the strategy of killing things with mebendazole, which is an anti-worming medicine, anti-helmintic they call it, it's craziness. Because you don't just kill the cancer cell, you kill everything. You kill other cells too. And that's why people suffer from toxicities from chemotherapy. Because you're killing the cancer cell, but you're killing your stomach, your intestinal cells and your digestive system cells and your skin cells and all the other fast-moving cells in your body as well. So we want to focus on where our locus of control is. Our locus of control is not on the parasite. Our locus of control is on metabolism. Because that's linked to food. That's linked to what we're putting in the system. That's why the first 2 points in the triangle of disease relate to energy. Digestive system, blood sugar system. We're overthinking this thing. If you have, and by the way, we don't like to blame ourselves. We have a resistance to blaming ourselves, and I certainly don't want to be the guy blaming the patient. I don't want to get, that's not a positive situation for a therapist to blame the patient. So you don't want to get into that, but you got to accept, if you don't accept responsibility, you lose your power. Then all of a sudden it's a worm, parasite. I didn't do anything. It was just a parasite. I was sitting here minding my own business. I got a parasite. Now I got cancer, right? Never mind do the people who have parasites that have cancer, are they eating pristinely? Are they supplementing regularly? Are they sleeping regularly, doing all the lifestyle things they're supposed to do, sleeping and exercising and all the other things? Probably not. So is a parasite involved? Maybe yes, maybe no. But the point is we have locus of control on many other levels. And that's what we want to focus on. And that's why what we talk about here every Friday and Monday, and when we do our talks, is so powerful because it gives us our power back. You don't have power over parasite. What are you going to do? Put a parasite shield on? I mean, come on. You don't have power over that. And by the way, there are parasites, and parasitic infections are certainly a thing. But the kind of parasites most people talk about that are, I had a colonic, and all of a sudden these parasites came out. That's not the same thing. There's parasites that are part of our microbiome. They're naturally part of your body. Parasites like hookworm and tapeworm and malaria and that kind of thing, those are real and they kill a lot of people. But when you hear people say, "Oh, I did this colonic and parasites came out," that's a whole different type of parasitic infection. Focus on where you can focus on your locus of control. Your locus of control is on food and nutrition primarily, but also lifestyle behaviors like sleep and exercise and relaxation and breathing and meditation. There are so many places we can control the outcome of the health of our bodies. That's what we want to focus on. And that's why I love talking about nutrition so much. So mebendazole and by the way, these anti-worming medications, they have particularly ivermectin. Ivermectin is an anti-cytokine medication. It suppresses and inhibits cytokines. Cytokines are inflammatory chemicals. And so that's why they used ivermectin for the virus that came out. And when people made fun of it as a sheep deworming medicine, that's true. It was a sheep deworming medicine, but what they missed is that it had other effects too that were beneficial, other beneficial health effects. So when you had the talking heads on the news making fun of people about ivermectin, they didn't know what they were talking about. Because yes, it is a sheep dewormer. It's also a human dewormer, but it also has anti-inflammatory effects and anti-cytokine effects. You there? Can't hear you. Is that me?
No, it was me. I just muted. Okay. So it is good stuff.
Yes. Well, what is good stuff? What do you mean? Ivermectin?
Ivermectin.
I would say it's good stuff. It's a drug, but it can have some benefits for inflammation, for inflammatory issues. And it's not, it's nowhere near as problematic as what they were telling people to inject themselves with.
Got it. Okay. Well, that is a great introduction. So Wendy, I hope that answered your question. And let's go over to the next question here on Daily with Doc and Becca. They keep coming in. The next one on the list is coming from Barbara. So when a vortex was created, mixing the shake, how long do the effects of that vortex last?
Yeah, that's a good question. They disperse pretty quickly. The effects of the vortex will disperse. I don't know the time exactly, but as soon as the liquid stops vorticizing, the energy is going to be dispersed. So you want to drink it quickly. I don't know the exact minutes, the exact seconds, but it happens right away because as you're creating the vortex, that's where the ions in the water is becoming structured. The ions are interacting with the water to structure the water. That's where the electrical energy takes place. As soon as you stop the vortex, that structure will begin to disperse, whether it's seconds or 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't know the exact time, but you want to drink it quickly. That's true.
So if she puts it in the refrigerator overnight, the vortex effect is longer there, but she can respin it,
She can respin it. Yes, she can respin it.
Okay. And does it matter which way the vortex goes, right or left?
Matter. No, it doesn't matter.
Perfect. All right. And let's go to the first hand that is up. And Susan, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Ben. Hi, Becca. Can you hear me?
Hi, Susan.
Hi. Oh, good to see you all.
Nice to not see you, but nice to hear you.
Yeah, I guess I should do videos. If you saw my picture, I would probably you'd see this little kitty on my lap. It's just so cute. So,
what is it? A human cutie or an animal cutie?
An animal kitty. Yeah,
okay.
I'm with my son and his wife. They have 3 dogs and a cat. So There's
All
quite a
right.
menagerie here.
Nice. What's going on?
Susan,
Well, one of my
Susan, you
friends,
should be able to turn your camera on, dear.
I tried to. I mean, I
Try
normally
again.
do. How do I do? Start. Okay, hold on. Start video.
Our video.
Sorry, see here. I should be able to. Video settings, maybe. I'm sorry. I never had problems before.
There we are.
doing this. Do you see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my word. Okay. What do I do here? Just select anything. Stop my video.
Now it went off again.
Again. Okay, video. Here we go.
Ask your question. There you
I
are.
am. So I'm at their
let me say something real quick. Susan, I'm sorry. Nice to see you, Susan. I've known Susan for a long time. Back to the mebendazole question. I didn't mean to imply that the mebendazole is working for cancer because it's an antiparasitic. Mebendazole also has cytotoxic effects, cell killing effects, induces apoptosis and such. So it gets back to the idea of, is killing things the right strategy for cancer? And I would present that there's better ways to deal with it. But I didn't mean to imply that the cancer, that they're saying that it's parasitic. The cancer is being caused by parasite. So I want to be clear about that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Susan. Go ahead.
No worries at all. Well, again, well, let me just tell you give you my question. So one of my very dearest friends, she's really dealing with these recurring UTIs.
Okay.
And she's 65, so she's post-menopause. She's 5'10", and she
Okay,
weighs,
I don't need to know how tall she is. Is it just?
Oh,
is it
okay.
Just, I know. Is it just? Hang on, Susan. Is it just the UTIs, or is there other things? Tell me the other things. I don't need her body shape or anything.
Well, I mean, no, really, that's
Okay.
it. I mean,
It's the UTIs.
She lost a son who died 29. And
Am I losing? Is it that me losing Susan, or is that everybody?
Everybody.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Susan. Is it just me?
No.
Well,
okay. So anyway, but Susan, UTIs, and aside from the psychological things, what physiologic symptoms does she have? So I can get a little picture going.
I mean, she the urgency, the bladder pain.
No.
Like
aside from the UTIs, what else is going on?
Well,
diabetes, obesity, smoking, muscle loss, sleep problems, skin problems, bloating, anything.
Well, after she lost her son, can you hear me now? Can you hear me okay?
It's just kind of choppy, but go ahead.
She's on some high blood pressure medication right now.
Okay.
So she's sort of borderline-ish. I think her A1C was 5.7.
Okay. All right. Well, let's stop there. Okay. But I want to make a point for you, Susan, for everybody. You see how the patient will come with UTIs, but there's a whole bunch of stuff happening in the body. Things don't just happen. Like there's no UTI angel that sprinkles UTI dust on your head. Oh, I got UTI. It's an entire metabolic milieu that is dysfunctional. And that's how we want to look at health. That's where the triangle disease comes from. And I can tell you, go back to the triangle disease and you'll improve things. But let me talk about UTIs, because they are, as I'm sure most people know, especially women, they're miserable. Can you imagine having them all the time? They call that interstitial cystitis, by the way. Was she diagnosed that way? It's called interstitial cystitis. That's chronic UTIs. And here's what's missed with chronic UTIs. Chronic UTIs follow connective tissue deterioration at the level of the bladder and the urinary tract. Nobody checks for this. However, she's 65. She's got other metabolic issues going on. After menopause, your estrogen drops and your connective tissue starts to deteriorate. So UTIs need to be regarded as a connective tissue problem. This should be no surprise to anybody who's talking to us, who listens to us on these calls that we do. The body deteriorates generically, and then various symptoms show up. Guaranteed, 100%. 100%. She's going to go to doctor after doctor after doctor, and they're going to give her antibiotic and antibiotic and antibiotic because they don't know what to do. Because, AJ, the fruit, not the root. I'm sorry, you go to the root, not the fruit.
I was trying to get the song ready.
I know. I was giving you a heads up there. They're focusing. We go to doctors because that's what we're conditioned to do, but they focus on the fruit, the rotten apple, not the root. The root of chronic UTIs is an intestinal interstitial cystitis is deterioration of the connective tissue, which is systemic. She's got to have osteoporosis. She's got to have other things going on with her, wrinkles and fine lines as well. She's got to have other things because the connective tissue doesn't just break down in one place. It breaks down as a system. So a couple things that you want to do. First of all, there's the way the female reproductive system, the way the female physiology is set up. It's a little weird how the bacteria are connected to the urinary tract. So gut bacteria, et cetera, are connected to the urinary tract. So you have to work with digestion, first of all, for a couple of reasons. First of all, that's where bacteria are coming from. So you haven't mentioned it, and she doesn't know, probably, but there's got to be digestive health issues here. Now, the fact that she's got high blood pressure also tells me there's digestive health issues here. The mechanism of high blood pressure is stuff getting in the blood. For the most part, there's other mechanisms too, but one of the mechanisms we'll say is stuff getting in the blood. So we got a leaky gut issue. Okay. So do you know this lady? Or is she a customer, or is she a friend or relative?
Yeah, dear friend.
Oh, dear friend. So does she have a history of digestive issues? Digestive health issues? Bloating?
Yes, she had a gallbladder removed.
What's that? A gallbladder.
She had a
Okay.
gallbladder removed.
Okay. Am I psychic Ben or am I pharmacist Ben? Of course she does. Of course she does. Of course she does. That's called the triangle. So you got to work on the triangle. If anybody had a gallbladder out, by the way, that means you have almost by definition some kind of digestive health issue. So it's probably, she's 65, probably never been corrected. When they take the gallbladder out, they don't correct the digestive problem. They just take the gallbladder out. So you got to work on the digestive system. I would get her on I-26. I would get her on the nightly essence. I would get her on ultimate enzymes and all the digestive support things. You may want to have her do Dr. Arias's liver cleanse, the True to Life liver cleanse as well. So first of all, you're going to focus on this condition as a digestive problem. I'd also throw in anything that can help build connective tissue, glucogel caps, healthy bone. I don't know how much product you want to put her on, but if you did, just hypothetically speaking, there was no limit to what kind of products you could use. I would do the healthy bone and joint pack. And by the way, the healthy bone and joint pack will help her with wrinkles and with arthritis and with heart disease and with a whole bunch of other things. So it's always a good idea to throw that in, particularly if you have a connective tissue issue like interstitial cystitis is. And then third of all, the blood sugar issues. Because once glycation occurs, it's very difficult to address the deterioration of connective tissue and other things as long as her blood sugar is high. Sugar, glycation, that is, reactions against collagen, sugar and collagen react. That's called glycation. I'm sure you know about that. And that needs to be controlled as well. So digestive, blood sugar, connective tissue building. That's how I would approach this. And I guarantee you, no medical professional is going to tell her any of those things. Does it make sense? Do you see the logic there? Okay.
What about, the hormonal stuff like they talk about as women to go post?
Let me tell you about the hormonal stuff. That's a good question because when the estrogen drops, connective tissue deterioration occurs. But here's the problem with hormones, hormone replacement. I imagine you're asking about hormone replacement. Here's the problem with hormone replacement. Estrogen, when they talk about hormone replacement, largely it's estrogen. Sometimes it's testosterone too, but for women, it's going to be mostly estrogen. There's no such thing as estrogen. It's a family of molecules. There's 20 plus different estrogens. When they give you estrogen, they do something they call bioidentical, okay? Because they want you to think it's the same thing as your body. That doesn't happen. You have 20 different estrogens. At best, you're getting tri-S, which is 3 estrogens, sometimes bi-S, which is 2, and sometimes just 1. There's no way they can give you an bioidentical estrogens, but it's even worse than that. I'll tell you why. Because estrogen is a very, very powerful hormone. It's the most powerful of all the steroid hormones. And your body wants to eliminate it. So it gets secreted and then gets eliminated. Without a gallbladder, the gallbladder is one of the main organs for the process for the elimination of estrogen. Without a gallbladder and intestinal problems, she's already got a problem with metabolizing and processing estrogen. You're always making estrogen as long as you have body. As long as you have body fat, you're making estrogen. So to now throw in exogenous estrogen, pharmaceutical estrogen, which is not even anywhere near remotely the same proportions and ratios of your natural estrogen, is playing with fire, in my opinion. Third of all, So you got multiple problems here. Number one, there's not just one estrogen. Number two, she's already got a problem processing estrogen. Now you're going to throw in more estrogen, the most toxic hormone in the body, and she can't clear it out already. And then number three, the way hormones work in the body is they're responsive to the environment. Your hormones are your bridge between the environment you find yourself in, whether it's the outside environment or the inside environment of the body, and biochemistry. They have to fluctuate. They got to go up and down depending on what's happening in the world and what's happening in your body. When you take a drug, estrogen, now you're flooding the body with an estrogen and you've lost that responsiveness. So to me, hormone replacement therapy is just playing with fire. And especially with estrogen. Testosterone is still pretty bad too. If you want to do hormone replacement therapy, probably the most benign hormone replacement therapy is going to be progesterone. Progesterone is not toxic like estrogen, and progesterone actually will sensitize your cells to your own natural estrogen. So it balances out estrogen and it sensitizes your cells to estrogen. So if you're going to do hormone replacement therapy, that's the one to do. Also, to a certain extent, DHEA, although you have to be a little bit careful with the doses on it. And that's probably, if you want to do hormone replacement therapy, I would do DHEA or something called 7-keto DHEA and progesterone. But I'm not telling anybody what to do because some women like their hormone replacement therapy. So I hesitate to say no, but it's just playing with fire. And by the way, estrogen is on the FDA's known to cause cancer list.
What about more herbal, like women's hormone balancer or hormone FX or Xerafem, any of those or those?
I'm sorry.
The Xerafem.
They're not bad. They're not bad, but they're not going to change her estrogen status. They're not bad though. And essential fatty acids, by the way, ultimate EFAs for women who want to take care of their hormones, and men for that matter too. The ultimate EFAs. Okay. And then there are herbs also, but they're not going to really change your life either. Vitex, wild yam, licorice root. These can have some female hormones, but they're not going to really change your life.
Progesterone, we use a cream. Is that the better way to get?
I'm really sorry. I'm not hearing you. Say that again.
The progesterone cream.
Topical progesterone is, yes. Topical
is
progesterone.
That
yes. Okay. Yes. Progesterone is very well handled by the skin.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And estrogen, by the way, is a stress hormone. It amplifies the stress response. So you want to be really respectful of estrogen. And if you are taking estrogen, you want to work on how you process it, which means the intestine and bile and the gallbladder and also liver health. And if she already has liver issues with metabolic syndrome or blood sugar issues, that's going to be a problem for her. I'm sorry to keep adding things on. There's so much to talk about here, so I apologize for that. But
thank you.
I hope that helps.
Yeah. Very helpful.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you. Yes, AJ. AJ's raising his hand. You have to go to the bathroom? What's up, AJ? You're excused. Go ahead.
No, there's more questions. So we're gonna go on to the next question.
No, okay. No, AJ wants to say something. I'm teasing you, AJ. What's up? AJ, give AJ the floor here.
AJ.
Okay, well, no, because he was talking about estrogen, then he finally got to the digestive part, and I just wanted to mention that the Hope product, you can get that they have a fabulous probiotic that you can get separately now, and
better than Nightly Essence.
I can't say better because I'm not an expert, but I know it's fantastic.
Is that Dr. Dennison's product?
No.
I don't know that
didn't
one.
Make it. I think Michelle and Sanjeev had something to do with it.
Oh, okay. I think I do remember that. That's it's a menopause product, right?
Yes, but now they have the probiotic is separate. They separated all three.
I see. Products. I have to take a look at that, and I have to see that. Just to be clear, the bacteria in the intestine. There's a complex called the estrobolome, 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 and they play a major role in estrogen detoxification. When the estrobolome or the bacteria, the intestinal bacteria are thrown off dysbiosis, estrogen doesn't get cleared appropriately, and even worse, it gets potentized. It becomes something called catechol estrogens, and catechol estrogens wreak havoc on the body. So there's a major role for the intestine and the microbiome when it comes to estrogen processing. Also, interestingly, I know it gets a little, I hope it's not too confusing. It's kind of interesting. When estrogen drops, histamine can go up. And if you already have a problem with leaky gut, this can cause problems. And this is why menopausal women will sometimes get rosacea and skin problems and breakouts and such. And this is also one of the reasons why there are what they call hormonal breakouts in younger women when their estrogen drops. If you have a combination of leaky gut, that is food allergies and food toxicity and digestive toxicity, when your estrogen drops, that can cause problems with skin, rosacea, headaches, night sweats. A lot of menopausal symptoms are secondary to histamine levels going up when estrogen drops. So that's another thing that can happen to women during menopause. That's yet another reason to patch up the leaky gut. And really, if this is confusing, go back to the triangle: digestion, blood sugar, and then the third point. But even just digestion and blood sugar, the metabolic system and the digestive system. Sorry.
All right, fantastic. So yes, it is called Women's Probiotic Complete. It has 35 billion CFUs and 16 strains of targeted probiotic strains, plus dietary fiber. So it also has the Lactobacillus reuteri, which a lot of people are talking about these days as well. So I will get that information over to you so you can check it out and let us know if it is as good or better than the Nightly Essence. I personally love Nightly Essence and take 2 of them every night before bed. So just one more option, ladies, that we have available to help us keep that good microbiome going in our bodies. So let's go on over to Jill. Jill, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello there. Thank you so much. I have a customer who was told that she has elevated B6. She's took Beyond Tangy Tangerine Original for a little while, a couple weeks before they told her that she had this severely elevated B6. And so she stopped it because she was seeing a nutritionist, and the nutritionist told her that, it's very dangerous for her to take this because
She couldn't. No, she didn't say it's very dangerous. I hope she didn't anyway.
Well, she gave her a full piece of paper that I can't even tell you how many things are listed on it that she could have that are causing this B6 problem, like from MS to E. coli to, I mean, it was just like a unbelievable thing that she was saying, this elevated B6 could be, but she's not had it tested before. So she has no idea, like, if she
It's very unlikely. You can take high B6 is associated with neuropathies, but you got to really, really go out of your way to take, 200 milligrams a day or something of B6.
It does say right on the test, because she showed me the test.
Yeah.
It does say right on the test that supplementation could affect the results of the.
I'm just, I can't help what this thing say. I'm just telling you, B6 is an essential nutrient. It's water soluble. You urinate it out. If you do inject it or you take ridiculously high doses of it, there are neuropathies and skin sensitivities that are associated with that. But I know you're saying you had a whole list of things that you said.
Well, there's no way that she took high doses of it because she only purchased 1 canister and she has at least a third of it left. So she's trying to find out, let's say she does have chronically high B6. Is it going to
be? B6 is an essential nutrient. That means your body doesn't make it. That means the only way to get B6 is by eating it or ingesting it or injecting, right? So if somebody has high B6, that means they're taking a lot of it because you're not making it. It's coming in from somewhere. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So it's not like the body is synthesizing B6 somehow. So if it's true that her B6 levels are high, she must be taking it in somehow, correct?
Yes.
You follow me? So, and I'm not saying I don't know what she's taking. Maybe she is taking a whole bunch of B6. I don't know. But you got to go out of your way to do it. Not only that,
she's
B6
not.
you're urinating out B6.
Yeah, and that's what she thought. That's what her
I'd have to
PCP
have
had told her.
that doesn't make it. Yeah,
So
that
she
doesn't
has.
make
I have it here. It says normal range is 2.1 to 21.7, and she's at a 58.6. So the
then she must
nutrition.
be it must be coming in somehow,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it does. It's not magic. It has to be coming in, right?
So BTT is water soluble. It's not causing the problem.
Yes, exactly. So if
Okay.
her B6 levels are high, it has to be coming in somehow, right? Because that's the only way you get B6.
Now, there's no link or association at all with it with B12 and how they tell you that you might have trouble absorbing folate. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that, but B12 is not folate. B12 is a different thing. Now, B12 is a little interesting because B12 is the most potent of all the vitamins. And so you don't need very much B12. If you look at the RDA of B12, it's like very, very tiny. However, because B12 is so potent, so powerful, the body has like a mechanism for controlling how much B12 gets through the digestive tract. It's called, there's a protein, a peptide that's made in your stomach that's responsible for the absorption of B12, and that gives the body a sort of mechanism for controlling how much B12 will actually get in the blood. Now, there's another factor that is important to recognize, and that is that B6 or B vitamins in general, and all nutrients really, when they test them, they test the blood. But the vitamins aren't active in the blood. They're active in the cell. So just because the levels are high in the blood doesn't necessarily mean that her cells are getting the B12 or the vitamins or whatever it is. You have to do what's called an RBC test or some kind of cellular test to see what's actually getting in the cells. You follow me?
Yes.
So just because something's in the blood doesn't necessarily mean that she's actually getting the benefits of the vitamin. Nonetheless, the question is, how is her blood levels? How are her blood levels elevated? It has to be something that she's taking in.
Right.
So I don't know. Where is she getting her B6 from? Just the BTT?
Yes. To my knowledge, yes.
Yeah,
and she wasn't even taking 2 scoops. She was just doing, like a half a dose. So I don't, unless the test is affected.
Does she have any neuropathy issues? That's
no.
the main neuropathy is the main toxicity associated with elevated B12.
B6.
I'm sorry, B6. I'm sorry.
Okay. Very good. That's what I needed to know. Thank you, Ben.
Okay. All right. And also, sometimes people have skin issues, like skin sensitivities, but mostly it's neuropathy.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jill, for coming on with that great question. Now, the next question is coming from Corey out on
And also,
YouTube.
I should also say, if she has some liver issues, that can also cause elevated B12.
How about B6?
I'm sorry, B6.
Okay.
B6. That can also cause elevated B6, liver issues.
All right. So Corey wants to know, can I put ultimate colloidal silver in my eyes to stop the itching due to environmental spring allergies? Or is diluting apple cider vinegar better?
No. Well,
Becca, no, we cannot answer that question and stay on YouTube.
Oh, colloidal silver. AJ. Okay. AJ got don't make AJ mad. Don't make AJ mad. So listen,
don't say those words.
I won't say that. But here's the thing. What is the mechanism of action of CS? It kills things. It's antiseptic. It kills things, right?
Yes.
So why would killing things cause help a seasonal allergy? It wouldn't, right? So what is a seasonal allergy caused by? What molecule?
Histamine.
Correct. That's why you take antihistamines, right? So anytime you have a histamine response, like spring allergies and such, aside from taking like Benadryl or something, which is an antihistamine, what I'd be doing is I'd be looking for endogenous histamine. Histamine is produced in the body. So when your histamine levels rise, you're going to be more susceptible to triggers from the outside, right? You're going to be more sensitive to triggers from the outside. But histamine levels go up from the blood, also from food. There are high histamine foods. And some of the so-called good foods, remember we talked to those 2 gals, Kiera and AJ's friends, I forgot their names, but the one gal was eating a lot of avocados. Avocados are histamine trigger, or high histamine foods. So there are ways that you can get histamine level, that you can have high histamine levels, either through your own mast cells from the intestine, from leaky gut, or from foods that trigger histamine release, or foods that contain histamine, even good foods that will make you more sensitive to spring allergies. And this again gets back to the locus of control thing that we talked about. How you don't have control over the allergens of the pollen, but you can have control over your histamine you're putting in your body, or the histamine that's coming into your blood through your mast cells. So locus of control, somebody saying that strawberries and pineapple give her histamine reaction. Yes, pineapple's notorious for that. Citrus too. Sometimes people say they're allergic to citrus. You can't be allergic to citrus, but you can have a histamine response to citrus. Likewise, seafood can be, or shellfish can be a histamine trigger. So there are foods that are considered good foods that aren't on the bad food list, that people will say, oh, I just eat good foods, bad food. I just, I stay away from the bad foods and I only eat the good foods. You can still have a histamine problem. And you don't control the pollen, but you can control your histamine. Leftovers too, by the way, cheese. And I know I've said this before, but I love saying this. Wine and cheese and chocolate, ladies, they're high histamine triggers, and histamine will cause a lot of the symptoms of menopause: night sweats, hot flashes, anxiety. These can all be histamine responses. And I know nobody wants to stop the wine and cheese and chocolate, but I just get a kick out of it.
I feel very blessed that I don't have hot flashes and all of those things that you listed, because I love cheese. I love chocolate, dark chocolate.
Yeah. And wine.
And I can let the wine go. I don't drink wine. But yeah, so definitely if you're having issues with those things and you are keeping a food diary. Mark your actions after taking anything or inhaling.
That's why a food diary is so important. That's because people are shocked when they find things, when they do the food diary, and all of a sudden they make the connection. It's really quite amazing what you find out.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. Well, we got several questions. Let's go over to Phyllis.
Hello, Pharmacist Ben.
Hello, Phyllis. What's up? How does Phyllis always look exactly the same? As the years go by, nothing changes. We all change.
I love it.
You look exactly the same since 1997 or 98.
Frozen in time.
You're frozen in time.
We have several questions here.
Yes.
Olga on YouTube.
Hi, Olga.
She wants to know what you recommend for someone undergoing removal of mercury fillings using a biological dentist.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that, because when you remove the mercury fillings, sometimes mercury can get in the blood. Lots of things. Ultimate selenium, FucoidZ, NAC, vitamin C, MSM, ultimate MSM. These are all chelating agents that will tie up mercury and help you eliminate it. And that's the strategy for anything to do with mercury, or even just general mercury poisoning, like if you're eating a lot of seafood or something like that. Chelate the mercury away. And those are chelating agents. If you want to go all out, you can actually go to an alternative practitioner, and they can inject chelating agents in you. But there's lots of supplements that have chelating properties.
Would that be good for heavy metals in general?
Yeah, heavy metals in general, absolutely. And lots of just blood toxicity. Chelation is not only is it important for heavy metals, it's also important for longevity. And if you have unlimited funds and you're really serious about living a long life and you're wealthy, you're getting chelating, you're getting EDTA chelation or some kind of chelation on a regular basis. It's a wonderful therapy, even though the medical professionals don't really recognize it. It's
that's intravenous, right, Ben?
That's what they do. They put EDTA in your veins, but you can take oral EDTA, or you can take nutritional supplements and do it.
Okay. And Justin has a couple of questions. What do nitrates and nitrites do to the body?
Nitrates fuel bacteria. They change the bacterial milieu. Nitrogen is very, very powerful stuff, as any farmer knows. That's why they have fertilizer. In fact, Dr. Wallach talks about this a lot. One of the greatest inventions ever was fertilizer, because until fertilizer, you'd have to use compost as a source of nitrogen. Nitrogen makes things grow. Nitrogen is the difference between nail polish remover and dynamite. Nitrogen is the difference between glycerin and nitroglycerin. Nitrogen is explosive, powerful stuff. Our air is filled with nitrogen, but we can't use it. 78% of the air is nitrogen, but we can't use it, and plants can't use it. However, there are bacteria that can use the nitrogen. They call them nitrogen-fixing bacteria. You may have heard that term. And they, in turn, will feed the plants. So nitrates and nitrites, they feed bacteria. They change back to the bacterial milieu in the intestine. And they can throw off intestinal health. Bacteria themselves can start making gases. And there's a lot of problems associated with the preservative nitrates. But the only way to really get high concentrations of those things is by eating lots of preserved meats. That's the main way, I should say. And that's really where people have problems with these nitrates is with preserved hot dogs, sausages, deli meats, those kinds of things, which are really, really bad foods.
What about using celery salt or something like that as a preservative?
Yeah, that's completely different. Celery salt's great.
Okay.
But most nitrates are really cheap.
And he also wants to know, does the combination of methylfolate and trimethylglycine help with blood pressure in general, or is that only in certain individuals?
I think he's talking about homocysteine probably. Trimethylglycine is a methylating agent. And what was the other thing you said? Folates. These are
methylfolate,
yeah, methylfolate. These are methylating agents that support the processing of the B vitamins to lower homocysteine. And homocysteine is associated with lots of inflammation, lots of inflammatory issues, including high blood pressure, but all kinds of them, arthritis and connective tissue deterioration and accelerated aging. So yes, trimethylglycine and methylfolate can both lower homocysteine or support B vitamin processing to lower homocysteine, so that the secondary effects like high blood pressure can be reduced. I wouldn't say they're antihypertensives necessarily, like blood pressure lowering supplements, but by lowering homocysteine, they can have an antihypertensive type effect.
So an indirect beneficial effect.
Kind of, but lowering homocysteine is a good anti-aging strategy, and that's why methylfolate and trimethylglycine and methylating agents in general can be beneficial for health.
All right. Thank you. Back to you, Becca.
All right. Thank you, Phyllis.
And by the way, nitrates, and for Justin, nitrates are not the same as nitrites. Nitrates are convert into nitrites. But nitrates are found in there's nitrates they're found in vegetables and such. Nitrates are found in vegetables. Nitrites are used as preservatives.
All right. Thank you so much for that clarification on nitrites and nitrates.
Yes. Nitrates are actually they're in leafy green leaf, spinach, kale, that kind of stuff, beets, celery. That's why celery seed works probably.
Okay.
Nitrites are different. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's go to Charles. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Charles.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Hi. So it was discovered a few years ago that I had very large kidney cysts. In fact, one was so large on my right kidney that it obstructed a ureter. I got very sick and I had to have
That's
surgery.
Not good.
That wasn't good. But they did clear up the ureter, but there's still large cysts on my kidneys. So my question would be basically, how do they form without my even knowing it? And secondly, how do I eliminate and reduce them? Thank you.
Okay, so you want kidney disease in general, and cysts are signs of metabolic syndrome, signs of blood sugar issues. Insulin makes things. Metabolic syndrome is insulin resistance. That's when you're making lots of insulin because your cells are resistant. And growth should always be, first of all, attributed, looked at as a cause of elevated insulin. Now, Charles, I'm guessing, is in his 50s or 60s, probably, by the way he sounds.
Yeah,
What's
61.
That? Okay.
61,
so it's almost impossible for you not to have some degree of insulin resistance. The fact that you have kidney cysts, and there is something called PKD or polycystic kidney disease, which is associated. Did they diagnose you with that?
You know what? My mother did. However, I got tested for the genetic. Yeah,
no,
but they said
forget genetic. Metabolic syndrome. Yeah, metabolic.
They said I did not. But because I have these large cysts, I questioned that result.
No. If you have cysts, you've got some blood sugar issue. Listen, this is what the kidneys do. The kidneys filter the blood, right? Yeah. And they filter the blood through very, 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 very tiny vessels, microscopic vessels. So if the blood is sugary, if you have elevated blood sugar, or you have elevated insulin, it's a short jump to kidney disease, and that's pretty much the main cause of kidney disease. And all kidney disease issues, or cysts in the kidneys, polycystic kidney disease, et cetera, should be backtracked to metabolic syndrome, always. And the good news is once you control metabolic syndrome, you'll add years to your life, and you'll improve your kidney health. Do you have, what's your kidney function at? Do you know?
It's actually quite good. The creatinine levels have been good, so that's what surprised me.
That is no, that's not. It can happen that way, so it's good. And by the way, your kidneys are so effective that they can be down to, you can lose 70% of your kidney function and still be okay.
Okay.
You know, right? So the kidneys are incredibly, incredibly resilient because they're so important. That's why you have two of them. So it's a degenerate. Kids don't have, just the idea that children don't have the problem, and it usually happens after age 50 or so. That tells you you're dealing with a degenerative metabolic condition.
Okay. What do I do?
Healthy blood sugar pack. Reduce your intake of fast-burning sugars, fast glycating sugar, high glycation, high glycemic index. That's the word I'm looking for. High glycemic index sugars, carbohydrates, processed foods, white bread, etc. But also, because of the triangle of disease, it's usually, not always, but I would suspect there's probably some digestive health issues going on there too, and you might want to look at that because just the way these things progress.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you notice anything that way? Bloating, gas, dysfunction?
Yes,
discomfort?
I do. Yeah. IBS, yes. And
do you have a history of IBS?
No, mildly, but it's been under control. I mean,
no. The reason I ask is first of all, you got the triangle, AJ, right? The triangle, you got IBS. But secondly, there's an association between estrogen and IBS, and estrogen will also make things grow. So I would be looking at your IBS issues, nightly essence, I-26, Dr. R's liver cleanse, bile issues. Work on digestive health in general.
Okay.
And we have, and AJ, I think we have a whole digestive packet, root not fruit, right?
We do, but he should probably call and speak to a team member.
Okay.
I'll
digestion and blood sugar. Okay. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Charles. Great question. Now, Pharmacist Ben, I just want to remind everybody that if you were referred to this program by somebody specific, they are your person. You need to get back to them. If you found us on your own and you'd like to speak with a certified holistic health coach, you may do so by calling 855-949-3377. Pharmacist Ben, final question.
Yes, ma'am.
Carrie wants to know, is there a standard lab test or a group of tests that you recommend people to track on their own? In California and other states, individuals can purchase their own lab tests.
The problem with lab tests, I always like going with symptoms rather than lab tests, because lab tests are based on reference ranges, high and low. And the reference ranges themselves are statistical algorithms. Nobody ever asks where the reference, people say high, low, but nobody ever asks where the reference range comes from. What's it high compared to? What's it low compared to? And there's these statistical algorithms that are done, and they take Caucasian and Black and Asian people and men and women and young people, and they lump them all together, and then they do whatever statistical magic they do to try to come up with these reference ranges. But every individual is going to have their own particular needs. So you can't really assume that you're high or low for you. You can assume you're high or low for the reference range, but whether it's high or low for you specifically doesn't necessarily follow. And that's the problem with statistics for individuals. Statistics are for large groups. This is the problem with statistics. That's why Mark Twain said there's three kinds of lies. There's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics. Because statistics mislead us into thinking that it can be applied to individuals when really they're designed to for large groups. And then we extrapolate it to try to make it mean something for an individual. And that's why you have people who will say, oh, I got all the symptoms of hypothyroidism, the dry skin, the hair falling out, the nail problems. You go to the doctor and he says, well, your thyroid's normal. No, it's not normal. Obviously, you got symptoms, but it's normal compared to the reference range. So I'm not really a big believer in lab tests, unless they're super, super extremely high or low, maybe. But I'll always go by your symptoms. Trust your symptoms and understand your symptoms. Speak your symptoms. A good healthcare professional be able to, not necessarily individuals, but if you go to a good healthcare professional, they should be able to read your symptoms and form a picture of what's happening in your body from your symptoms.
And that's exactly what Dr. Wallach teaches and looks at.
Yes.
Because there's so many different poor health symptoms linked to nutritional deficiencies to the tone of 900 poor health conditions, since there's 90 essential nutrients and approximately, on average, 10 poor health conditions per nutritional deficiency. So you multiply that out, which is simple math, not statistics. I come from a statistics background and career. So I do understand the statistics and scrubbing data, yes. And I do not like doing it. But 900 different poor health symptoms, folks, related to nutritional deficiencies. Chances are what you're experiencing is a nutritional deficiency. So let's go to AJ with his hand up.
Well, I need to be able to see Ruth Ellen just to make sure that this is appropriate, because sometimes when I do surprises on the show, it's a little too loud for people's ears. So, folks, if you have an ear sensitivity, make sure you turn down your ear, because Pharmacist Ben, I got something for you. You ready?
Yes.
You sure?
I think I am.
Don't fix the fruit.
Oh.
Root.
No, I'm not red.
Root. Don't fix the fruit. Fix the root. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
that
Thrasher Rock I didn't even like in high school, AJ. You just ruined my day.
We got to work on that, AJ.
Wasn't good?
No, we got to work on that one.
Oh, man.
How about some like some nice gentle folk music?
We'll work on it.
Let's not just an acoustic guitar, something kind of calm and quiet, like a Bread or David Gates,
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I think
Bread?
so.
Yeah.
He has one. It's almost like the Grateful Dead kind of mellow.
Yeah, folky mellow kind of.
He didn't like that one. He didn't.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and one final comment before we go to the music part. Going back to statistics, Carrie says, as an engineer turned naturopath, she totally agrees with us when it comes to those statistics.
Who is she? She's a naturopath?
Carrie.
Is she on the call?
She is.
And what did you say
she was? Come on camera.
That's fine. What did she say she was before she was a naturopath?
She's an engineer.
That's awesome, because this is really engineering. What we're talking about here, the way you want to handle the body is the way an engineer would troubleshoot a problem. And ask, what's her name? What's the gal's name?
Carrie.
Ask Carrie if she agrees with that. This is troubleshooting. This is engineering, really. Ask her if she agrees
Carrie,
with that.
do you agree?
And that's awesome that she's a naturopath too, because that's really how you solve these problems. These are engineering problems, really. Right? Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. I'd love to meet Carrie. I'd love to meet her.
Okay, we can make that happen.
Make that happen. Where's she from?
She's in California.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to communicate with her. Let's facilitate that. Is she new?
No, she's been with Longevity for a while.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've met her. All right. Well, I got to go. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Monday night.
Monday night it is. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
All right. We've got Pharmacist Ben Bites with Coach AJ Monday night, probably 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 8 Central, 7 Mountain, and 6 Pacific time if you are in the US continent on your time zones. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I hope that you did get something out of today's show, as we had lots of information, lots of different symptoms coming from different. What did you do, AJ? Oh my goodness. You give the boy buttons and he's gonna just push, push, push. Wow. Okay. So if somebody could
let me fix it.
If somebody could fix this, that would be great.
Let me fix it. Let me fix it.
Co-host, please come on the screen. Folks, I could not do this without my team, even when the team are pushing buttons that they, accidentally, which I'm guilty myself, push. But hey, we're a family, we forgive, we laugh, and we move on. If that's something that you want to be part of, make sure that you get back to the person that shared this program with you, as we have a passion and a purpose when it comes to helping others find a better health journey. And it's just a fantastic place to be, is on the solution side of the issue and not creating more problems. So again, get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's no one to thank, 855-949-3377. This program is for educational purposes only. It's not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. But please remember, you are an empowered individual. Your body was designed divinely by the Creator. You are not chemical deficient or pharmaceutical deficient, and the poor health symptoms that you are experiencing are more likely, like 99% likely, going back to statistics, that they are nutritional deficiencies. There are some exceptions, but chances are we're looking at nutritional deficiencies, and that's what this program is all about, is finding solutions and providing solutions to help you no longer be nutritional deficient. So folks, thank you again. My name is Becca Dukes. I am very honored to be joined here with my team. That is Ruth Ellen Sanchez, my executive production manager. Thank you so much, Ruth Ellen. My dear Speedy Fingers, Marilyn, who is putting information into the chat as we speak, making sure that if you're taking notes and you can't write as fast, she can type even faster. So she's putting that into the chat for you to help you with your note taking. That is only available here in the live Zoom. So folks, if you want to join us live, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, most Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, from 12 to 1 Pacific, 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, 3 to 4 Eastern. And I think it's like 9 to 10 or 10 to 11 in South Africa, as our next co-host, Albert, is joining us from South Africa. Thank you so much, as he is our gatekeeper, letting people in from the waiting room into the Zoom. Thank you, Albert. And we have Rod out on the different platforms, helping to keep an eye on things, and here in the Zoom, and letting us know when there's questions on the platforms that he is watching. And we have Chris bringing in those questions as well, as she's keeping an eye on the different platforms, looking for questions, as she is a pioneer who I just love and adore, as she is one of my mentors in this whole family. Thank you, Phyllis. And we have AJ, my digital marketing director. And he's helping us get on all the different platforms and helping us with technology and making sure that we are able to provide quality information in all different medias to you. So folks, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next time on Daily with Doc and Becca. Bye for now.
This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of the founding father of science of epigenetics, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or